Jax from AVA Live Radio, and this is the first live on YouTube. I'm so excited because I get to use the new microphone that just came in. It's the Shure MV88, so you guys are going to have to tell me how it does. This is the very first time I'm using it. If you were over with me at Periscope, then you got to hang out while I tried to hook it up for my first time. So I hope I turned it up loud enough, because this is in the test, it was amazing. It sounded so good. So really hoping that it's awesome. Yeah, that's right. So let me turn on. Okay, before I go any further, I am going to go over to YouTube on my computer here, and I want to see what is happening when I go live, because I've got to check this out. Oh, look at that. Awesome. I can see it. I can see it. This is great. Nice. Hey there, you guys. Hey. So welcome everybody. I'm really glad to see you here. Okay, so we're going to do some Instagram cool stuff. You ready? Because I have some amazing hacks for you to make your Instagram so much nicer than it maybe is right now. Anyway, a lot of you guys have been asking me about Instagram and what you feel, or what I feel would be the best Instagram feed for you to have. Something that will get you more likes, will get you more visits, will be more of a strategy for you as a music artist, or I guess this really works for anyone, not just music artists. I just happen to deal with entertainment industry people all the time, so I tend to speak in that in that language. I've seen a lot of Instagram pages, that's for sure, because all I do all day is review artists. Here's what I've noticed. Right off the bat, Instagram is such a fabulous place. It's way more reactive than probably any of the other social media pages right now. So if you're not using Instagram, you certainly want to, okay? You want to build it. But with that, you've got to consider the weight and balance scale. You either want one account that you just focus on your music on, or you want to build niche accounts that do specific things. Now, if you think in the future as terms of where you're going to be building and what you want to achieve long term, then now we're talking about niche accounts, and we're talking about how many do I need and what is it that I need to put on these accounts to make a huge difference. Well, being in the music business, you definitely want to consider your content. If you guys are going to do a lot of music videos and you're going to put a lot of that on your feed, but you also have a lot of photographs, then you might want to think about splitting your account. You can overlap them, but maybe you have one just featuring video, one just featuring photographs. It's an idea, and the reason why is because so many people have built out separate accounts and not just put everything on one where it looks very uncontrollable, like out of control. They've really branded the accounts, and I think that it's important that you do it, and you can, because right now, using hashtags, you can basically brand yourself and get a lot of likes at the same time. You don't have to focus everything on one account if you don't want to. Good example of this is when you are, say, dancing and singing a lot, and say you want to launch a new video every single day, but you also want to have a variety of different photographs and facets to your career. So say you like to shop and you love to post pictures of you wearing different things that might not fit in the same account. Now, I'm talking really generally, but take a look, back off from your accounts and take a look at what they look like. For instance, this is my account right now, right? Now, I just basically started this account focusing on just one kind of content, and it's just really a selfie, and it talks about inspirational themes, things that I'm thinking that complement my blog, and then the only link I have is going directly to my blog to sign up for that. It does not do live streams because I do that over at Periscope. It doesn't really focus on music video, which I use YouTube and my mailing list for. So I am limiting my account to one kind of feed. Now I noticed that in the very, very beginning, when I had like pictures of what I ate and like food and just all kinds of various things, it just didn't look right. And it just didn't really get a lot of comments or engagement. Now I noticed that once I started branding that one channel, so to speak, that one Instagram account, it started getting a lot more activity on a regular basis. And if I were to put a lot more energy into it and spend time with it, it would definitely be turning so quickly. I do also notice that if you're checking out hashtags and you're going to use them for marketing purposes, Instagram holds the most weight because the Instagram hashtag actually gets seen by a lot more people than it does over at Facebook or it does over at Twitter, which is unusual because you would think Twitter would have the best one, but it's actually Instagram that's the leader right now. So you definitely want to Instagram it up. Second thing is, if you're going to post a lot of food pics, think about, as a music artist, people that are fans of yours aren't necessarily going to want food pics. Maybe that's something good for the Instagram stories. So if you don't know how to do that, all you have to do is go to your Instagram feed, which is this screen right here. Go up in this section and you're going to just click on it. That allows you to start adding a photo. When you start adding a photo, it gives you options. And instead of adding, there I am, hi. Instead of just adding a photo to your normal feed, you can actually put it in stories. So think about adding those unusual pictures that you want to take throughout the day that are more engaging and interacting, not to your actual feed. Put them in stories. A lot of people watch the stories and don't actually go to the main feed. They actually hang out in stories, which is kind of interesting. That's great for live feeds. You can do things that you don't mind to disappear, but that aren't necessarily branded photos. Now, as a music marketer, I always appreciate when an artist has a lot of branded photos, because those photos are really what are going to drive that message home. You know, they're going to represent you in the most unique way. Just taking unbranded photos or grainy, like out of focus, selfie images that just don't say one thing or the other, that's really not going to help you. So many times when you guys ask me, what should I be putting on my Instagram account? I will sit there and I'll look through your Instagram feeds and I'll notice that you've got a lot, I'm not going to show any examples, you've got a lot of photos that are grainy, a lot of photos that are out of focus. That's not good for Instagram, because you're only going to be as good as that first little feed that somebody sees on a teeny little phone. Another thing I want to point out to you is not everybody is using a big phone. A lot of people are using really small phones. So if you're just planning your content based on a really big phone, then that's not going to work here. So think about adding some really big up close face shots, and I'll tell you why. Whenever I notice that I do really up close shots like this one here, they tend to get a lot more engagement and a lot more play. Now, basically, it has words on it. It's an inspirational thought, but that's the branding for my actual Instagram feed. You don't have to have the words on it. I get really great likes either way, whether it's got words on it or not. It just depends. But when you plan your Instagram content, I want you to plan a little bit ahead of time. And here's what I want you to do. Go to the hashtags that you'd like to be known for and you think might best describe you and your content. So if I'm a musician, I'm going to be putting indie artist hashtags. I'm going to be looking through like I love music hashtags, now playing hashtags, music industry hashtags, and here's what we get. So we pull up, for instance, recording artist. Take a look at the feed. What stands out to you? To me, it's the girls in the close-up. They stand out. And sure enough, they are in the top posts with over 1,000 likes in a very short time, in just 14 hours. Now, the people that are in the other feed below that are just now posting, take a look. Ask yourself what stands out. Look for color schemes, look for the type of Instagram photo that really speaks to you in this feed. The reason why is because if you're just getting started, you're gonna want Instagram photos that pop, that really stand out in this feed. Now, a lot of you guys don't actually go to the feed. You have no idea it even exists. Just go to one of your hashtags that you like to use and check out the feed and see what the other photos look like. Will your picture you're about to post stand out? Are you going to annoy people by using the same hashtag and posting like a zillion photos all at once that are the same thing? Yes, you are. That will get you unfollowed. So you have to think about like reversing the strategy here a little bit and not just going from picture to post, but going from what's actually out there and reversing it into your pictures. Now, a good way for you guys to come out with great content is maybe pair up with a buddy, get a cell phone stand, whatever it is, maybe even get a remote control for your phone. So that way you can keep it in a nice place, like maybe something that's not moving around so much, and you can stand back from it and use a little remote control to try and get really great photographs. I highly recommend that when you're in the studio, you get some photographs and you keep them on file. When you're at a music gig, you give your phone to somebody, and if you're not live streaming, you get them to take some great photos. As many photos as you guys can fit in your phone on these really terrific events, you should be taking those, because you're a music artist. You're gonna need lots of photos, and there's gonna be some downtime, and you're gonna wanna post about 2 photos every single day, depending on your strategy. Now, the other strategy there is, of course, is not posting as much, but interacting more. I noticed a lot of people come to my account that have maybe 100,000 people following them on Instagram, but they only post once every couple of days. Now, their strategy is a little bit different. They focus on having amazing content. They don't focus on putting up grainy selfies and grainy stuff that's not going to serve them really well. They focus everything channeling onto the first picture that they have, and they go and they interact. And I think that that's a really great strategy for Instagram, because it's not only important for you to be in the new feed, but it's really important for you guys to build relationships out there. Relationships with brands, relationships with venues, relationships with people and music fans. So say I was to have my Instagram page with a content fixed with some music videos, some photographs, and maybe a couple of like boomerangs, right? A couple of little things that are fun. Or maybe even a couple of photo albums, because you can post more than one photo within any post. You can actually load a photo album of things. So say I filled it, I got my 9 to 12 photos perfect. I love the way it looks. Then I go out and I start interacting on other people's feeds, saying hi to them, appreciating their looks, taking a look at their themes and their images, and really interacting and starting to hook up with brands, look for new brands that might be interested in maybe getting in on your next music video, look for people who might play your music. This is all interaction, and it's great stuff. And if you're not DMing people and you're not at least reaching out to 10 new people a day, which is nothing, if you are really in the music business and you want a career, you should be doing like hundreds of them. You should be all day long, you should be on this thing right now, making connections and bringing people into your account. That is what great music marketing is. It's not about hiding in the studio and just being, the recording voice. It's about being out there until it takes over your life to the point where you can't even answer the messages. Right? That makes sense, doesn't it? Yes, it does. All right, let's talk about themes. Lots and lots of people have branded their images with themes. So they have created some amazing content and decided to theme it. Now, by themes, I basically mean filters, okay? Not only do they work on getting really quality photographs, even if they're taken all within the same month, or maybe just different angles of different interesting things, like some studio stuff, some live performing stuff, like I said before, but they've taken it a step further, and maybe they've chosen a theme, like a filter theme. So maybe everything is black and white and highly saturated, or everything has that light sun-kissed color that you see a lot of times on the beauty bloggers' photographs. When you look through content and you look for people's, you look through basically just the hashtags, and you look for different people's content, I always take a look at who's in the top posts. So I will go and I will start just randomly looking around and seeing who's out there. And then I'll follow it to their Instagram feeds and see what it is that they're posting, what their themes look like. Of course, I get sent ones by music artists all the time, so I have the luxury of being drawn to either really great accounts or really bad accounts. So I have this really awesome comparison and contrast. I noticed that a lot of really good examples can be found in music studios. Music studios tend to be great at branding their content because they're limited as to what kind of content they can post. But the good thing is that if you look around you, there's a lot of things as a music artist that you could post about, right? You could post microphones, you could post about speakers, you could post about the sound equipment that you use. There's all kinds of things, and using a filter can make it look more vintage, make it look more tied into the content. So basically, if you land on somebody's Instagram page and you see that they have some pictures of themselves, and then they have some speakers and they have some microphones, and it's all kind of intertwined in the content, but it's all got the same filter, all of a sudden they look like they have a really professional and branded account, and it's not all advertising, it's not grainy photos, it's not a bunch of food photos when you're a music artist. You get it, right? It's unique content, but it's branded, and people really, really want to follow accounts like that. The more branded you make that account, the more likely it is to grow and really get big numbers. Now, my whole point behind this entire video and this entire talk is that branding yourself and branding your feeds are what's going to get you the farthest, the fastest. So keep in mind that if you want a food account on Instagram, go set up a new food account on Instagram. But if you want to be a musician on Instagram, make sure your newsfeed and your Instagram feed and what people are seeing are branded content that really makes you look like a rock star, because that's where you want to be. Jacqueline Jax for AVA Live Radio. I hope you guys have a blessed day and you do amazing things with your Instagram. Leave them down below in the comment section, because I'd love to come visit you and see what you're doing. And certainly if you have any questions, feel free to ask, because this channel is filled with all kinds of goodies for you, from how to make it on Facebook to how to do better on Twitter to how to build a music brand. There's also a website at jacquelinejax.tv if you want to go check it out and see what's going on there. See you later. I'll see you guys on Instagram. Bye.